Hello, welcome back to my channel. And if you are brand new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. I'm Bonnie, Old Soul Mermaid. And on this channel, we do a lot of deck unboxings, deck comparisons. We discuss tarot topics. So if that appeals to you, stay tuned. And if you find any value to this video, please hit a like, a subscribe, a notification bell. It's all very helpful for this very small channel. So with that, today's video, I recently went down to my local Half Price Books. If you don't know what Half Price Books is, it is a used book and media chain here in the States. I don't think it's in every state, but I'm in Central Texas in the Austin area. So we have about 6 locations that are, really easy for me to get to, but there's one location in particular where I tend to have the best luck with tarot finds. And it looked like somebody recently had dumped part of their tarot collection they sold the decks, and I don't know, for money or if they were just trying to lighten their load, but these are obscure out of print decks. And I bought several of them. There was a lot of them in the case, but I picked out a few that just quickly appealed to me. They came in these bags and they were all taped up, and because of the rules at Half Price Books, these are all locked in a cabinet, and you have to call an employee to unlock the cabinet for you. And if you want to go through the decks, they literally have to stay with you. And so because I didn't want to keep an employee waiting for me because I had so many decks I wanted to count cards and look through, I just bought them and kind of went through them. So I thought I'd share because a lot of these are out of print, and I haven't decided, well, I sort of have decided what I may keep and what is definitely going to go. So the first one, and they came in these bags, is The Oracle of the Goddess by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber. So this is not on my radar at all. It came with a really, really beautiful hardback book. I have no idea what the packaging was like, but this book doesn't look like it's been used. So they are the creators of is it the Tarot of Enchantment? I know there's Enchantment, or the Enchantment Tarot. I know that's in the title, but let's look at the copyright. Doesn't look like there's a copyright date, but I think it's pretty, oh, yes, there is. Really, really tiny. 1998. So let's look. Really nice paper. I have Consulting the Oracle of the Goddess, A Grounding Ritual, How to Read the Cards, The 12 Secrets. So it looks like maybe it's grouped in a certain way. Sample questions and answers. How to use the affirmations. How to use the herstories of the 12 goddesses. How to use the rituals of the 12 goddesses. So, and then they go through the cards and goddesses. So this looks very reminiscent of the artists and their other decks that I've seen. Is it the Love Tarot and the Tarot of Enchantment, or the Enchantment Tarot, whatever the title is. Looks like there's some good content. My head, my heart, my home. There's an affirmation. Beautiful, beautiful colored pictures. So let's look at the cards really quick, because I have several decks to get through. These are huge. That's my hand on these cards. Oh, wow. These are very cardboardy, thick cardboardy feeling. And I don't think I like the backs. I don't like when there's a ton of writing on the backs. That's a big turn off for me. I don't think they needed to do that. It would have been beautiful with just, I don't know, maybe just a little bit of a quote and this beautiful print. So we have Artemis here, the goddess of discernment. Her heart, feel capable, like an affirmation. Believe in your ability to handle anything you may encounter. Emotions must be analyzed to prevent misguided reactions to unfounded fears. The unknown is always with us and must be embraced if we would live a full life. Anxiety builds when we are desperate to know the outcome of plans and actions before they have reached fruition. So I'm just giving you a sample of what's on the cards. So we'll just do a quick little flip through because, like I said, I have a lot. I have several decks. So her home, get your way. I do wish there was more of the image. It looks like maybe you get a little more in the book. So, and it looks like it changes her home. So this was her heart, and now we have her home. And I do see that the, let's see. Okay. So the colors change on the back according to like her heart, her home, the categories that, and her head. Purple is her head. So the backings change. But yeah, for this big of a card, I wish we got more of the image. I'm not really feeling drawn to this deck, so it's probably one I'm going to take back. You have a week to bring back, Bridget, your purchases from Half Price Books for your cash back or, you know, back on your card. After that, you have 30 days for, you know, store credit. But yes, I don't believe I'm going to keep this deck. I'm just not feeling called to it. I know, yeah, I feel like it's a little bit missed opportunity. The art is gorgeous, but the cards are so large. The book, though, is really, really nice. I think it's almost worth it to keep the book, but I paid, it's $50. It's out of print. I did see a copy on eBay for $150, I believe. So, but yeah, I think this one is going back. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should keep it? Let me know if you have this deck and if you worked with it, if it's still in your collection or if you've let it go. Yeah, I'd really like to know. So that is the Oracle of the Goddess by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber. Sorry about that. Next in line for obscure finds from Half Price Books is the Shakespearean Tarot. So this is spelled, I know there's a newer edition of a Shakespearean Tarot spelled, well, P-E-A-R-E-A-N instead of the I. So this, I think from what I researched, is from the 90s. The cards are smaller, I would say, than average tarot size. If you can see, narrower and a little bit shorter, if you can see, with large borders. These are the backs. And you see this kind of fading here? This is intentional. It's not due to age. And like I said, I think this deck is from the 90s as well. I just picked this book because I saw the book. It said Shakespearean Tarot, and I love Shakespeare. So, yeah, let's just kind of do a real quick flip through the cards. They are quite small, you can see. And there's a quote, like, the fool is, I am but a fool, look you, from the Two Gentlemen of Verona. And I like that they tell you what play it's from. The Magician, now does my project gather to a head. The Tempest. And then we have, there's a quote, the High Priestess, Antony and Cleopatra. The Empress, and this is a scene from A Winter's Tale. Julius Caesar, of course, is the Emperor. King Henry VIII. Is that King Henry VIII? Is that the right play? I feel within a peace beyond all earthly dignitaries. Is that Henry V? I'm confused. Well, this is from Romeo and Juliet. Of course, the lovers. Go, get thee to thy love, as was decreed. So this is when they're getting married by the friar. Another one from Julius Caesar for the Chariot. Strength. Antony and Cleopatra. Oh, I am on fire and air. The Hermit. Blow is from King Lear. Blow winds and crack thy cheeks. So, and the Wheel of Fortune also from King Lear. The Merchant of Venice for Justice. The Hanged Man, Hamlet. Angels and Ministers of Grace defend us. Death is from Richard III. And if I die, no soul shall pity me. That was the truth. Though I think Richard III was, you know, Richard III was written at the height of, you know, it was part of Elizabethan propaganda against the House of Plantagenet and the last Plantagenet king. Depending on where you are in British history, you know, the Tudors, Henry Tudor had less of a claim on the throne than, you know, the Plantagenets did, but it's all complicated. Temperance, oh, 1 foot in sea and 1 on shore. Much Ado About Nothing, Beatrice and Benedict. Love the banter between the two in that play. The Devil from Othello, The Moor of Venice, Sweet Soul, Take Head of Perjury. I love this deck. I just wish the borders were smaller. These are, the images are quite nice. Oh my goodness. Midsummer Night's Dream for the Moon. All met by moonlight, proud Tatiana. This chosen infant, bright son of heaven, King Henry VIII, the sun. Judgment, and crowned with joy at last. All the world's a stage, of course, for the world, from As You Like It. Oh, so now we're going into the minors. Romeo and Juliet for the Two of Scepters. I strike quickly, being moved. Oh, you know, I love this. Let me know in the comments below if you have this. I'm just going to flip through here now. Or if you've ever had it. This is quite an old deck. And the cardstock is quite nice. It has a little bit of a glossy coating, but it's not really reflecting. The Nurse from Romeo and Juliet, one of my favorite characters ever. Were not I thine only nurse? This is from Richard II. Richard II. So Henry IV, Ace of Crowns, the Tempest, Henry V, the Merchant of Venice. Yeah, I'm really, oh, the Taming of the Shrew. This is like a really fun deck. I think I may consider keeping this one. I do, you know, the cards needed to be bigger and mostly borderless. I do like the backs quite a bit, and I do enjoy this cardstock is really nice. I gotta see who the publisher is. Let's look at the book really quickly. I'm gonna zoom up again. The book is in decent condition. You know, it has a little bit of wear. Yeah, it's coming a little bit unglued, but it's not falling apart yet. This was published, and the creator's Dolores Ashcroft Nowicki, illustrations by Paul Hardy, published by Aquarian Tarot, an imprint of HarperCollins. So let's see if we can get a date. Oh, published by the Aquarian Press in 1993. So it's another 90s deck. Just take a quick glance at what you get. So you do get a little black and white picture. And you've got the quote, the play, and some text about it, quite a good amount. Let's see if there's any spreads. Oops, so it's coming a little bit unglued, but it looks like we do, or triangles, straightforward spread. Anything else? Oh yeah, Wheel of the Year. We're going backwards, you guys. Jesse Tree. And that's it. Very cool. I might be inclined to keep this one. This was $30. Let me know if you think it's worth it for $30. It's out of print from the 90s. I love Shakespeare. I was looking at the newer Shakespearean tarot that's out, and even though it has nice packaging, it is a pip deck, and I'm going, oh, missed opportunities. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it again, but I kind of like this better, even with its limitations. So this one I'm highly considering keeping, the Shakespearean Tarot. All right, next of these obscure finds, the Whimsical Tarot. This is by Mary Hanson Roberts and Dorothy Morrison. So we know the Hanson Roberts Tarot, and it's now available in the little mini version. I knew it was available once upon a time with a book and larger cards, but this is her other offering, which I was not aware of. So in the little white book, you just get a little white book here. So none of these decks had boxes. It looks like the original owner got rid of her boxes, didn't keep them in boxes. So this is 2000 by US Games. Very cool. And what you get are the cards. You get this little pull-out spread, and it has, you know, a spread of the Celtic cross in it. And then I believe from my research, this book was an extra. It wasn't included with the deck. So with the deck, you got the box, a tuck box, and this I believe was extra. And I've seen just the book on Amazon, I'm sorry, eBay, for just somebody selling it for just for $100, just the book. So let's take a quick look at the cards. And I believe this is all based on fairy tales, so it's a fairy tale deck. Also, I believe it was meant to maybe appeal for children to learn to read tarot once upon a time. Those are the backs. Very pretty. bordered, but not, you know, they're not huge and ugly. So this looks like the Wizard of Oz, Toto and the Scarecrow, Puss in Boots. Is this a fairy godmother, maybe? Cinderella, this is the old woman in the shoe. Saint Nick, maybe? Hierophant. The Lovers, this looks like Beauty and the Beast. Cinderella for the Chariot. Little Bo Peep, a Strength. The Hermit. I'm trying to see. Let's see if this tells you what fairy tale. No. So you'd have to, the companion book would be quite helpful. Justice looks like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The Hanged One. Death, Sleeping Beauty, it looks like. Jack and Jill for Temperance. The Devil, is that Pinocchio or the Tower, the Three Little Pigs? Star, trying to think. The Moon is Hey Diddle Diddle, the Cat and the Fiddle. The Sun, that looks like, what, Peter Pan? Tinkerbell? That looks like Jiminy Cricket speaking to Pinocchio. I love this, you guys. It is so cute, the world. The Ace of Rods, the Two of Rods. Oh, the Mouse and the Lion. The mouse rescues the lion. Three of Rods. Can't think quickly what that is. The Four of Rods. The Five of Rods. That's the Wizard of Oz for the Six of Rods. So it looks like there's a little bit, the images for the pips are a little bit smaller because they've got, you know, more going on around them. Not a horrible thing. This looks like Jack and the Beanstalk. He's cutting the beanstalk. Eight of Rods. Nine of Rods. Little Boy Blue. Come Blow Your Horn. 10 of Rods. Page. Jack Be Nimble. Jack Be Quick. The Queen of Rods. The King of Rods. This is so cute. I may have to keep this one. Hubba Dub Dub, Three Men in the Tub, the Butcher, the Baker, the Candlestick Maker, kind of, yep. Is this, the Emperor Has No Clothes, yep. This looks like Peter Pan with Captain Hook. This looks like Peter Pan and Wendy flying. The Seven of Cups, there's a crossroads there. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet for the Eight of Cups. Aladdin, the Genie for the 9. The 10 of Cups looks like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because I see 7 people, you know, little figures moving up to the castle, possibly. Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, Queen of Cups. I'm just going through these really quickly because I've got more. Is that maybe Hansel and Gretel? The Princess and the Pea for the Four of Swords. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, 5 of Swords. 6 of Swords. Oh, what's that about stealing tarts? The 7 of Swords. Rip Van Winkle for the 8 of Swords. Rapunzel for the 9 of Swords. Humpty Dumpty for the 10 of Swords. Page, Knight, Little Red Riding Hood for the Queen of Swords. The Huntsman for the King of Swords. page, the 2. Oh, Rumpelstiltskin. Oh, that must be Rumpelstiltskin. I can't remember his name, but spinning the thread into the gold bars. 4 of Pentacles, the ugly duckling for the 5. Oh. 6 of Pentacles, 7, the 8, the leprechaun and the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The 10 of Pentacles, that's kind of a happily ever after. Page of Pentacles, Knight, the Queen, and the King. Is this Robin Hood and Maid Marian, maybe? Possibly. All right, let's look at the book very, very quickly. Yes, they make a nod to children. As parents, we feed and clothe our children. We nurture and love them. We do their dirty laundry, make their beds, and help with their schoolwork. We teach them to be responsible adults. Sadly enough, we often skip the spiritual stuff, not because it isn't important, but because we think it's something they'll learn on their own. It's not. So I think it's drawing attention to these, you know, there's often a moral with fairy tales and folklore and stories. Children read the tarot. So there's a section here about children reading the tarot. So help your child, help yourself. So this is kind of steered towards children, or helping your children learn the tarot. So there are spreads, the 1 card, a 3 card, yes and no, the 9 card spread, and the Celtic cross, the wheel spread. Ooh, look at this. Wow, that's an intricate spread. So then she goes into the cards. So what do you get? You get the character and the story and the description. So, and also advice. So you don't really get keywords for upright or reversal. Yeah, this was the fairy godmother in Cinderella. So you get a black and white picture in this book, but you get a lot of content. This reminds me of the Tarot of the Divine, and then, you know, the help you get with the extra Beneath the Moon book. So this is Friar Tuck, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and this is Beauty and the Beast for the lovers. Oh, this one I didn't know. Oh, the Sandman for the Hermit. Lots of good content in here. The book is in really, really good condition for as old as it is. Oh, wow. I may have to keep this one. I think, I don't know. I think this one and the Shakespeare Tarot, I don't know how many I can keep, you guys. But this one is quite beautiful. And you know what? It was only $30. So let me know what you think about this deck. Should I keep it? Should it stay, or should it go? I love it. And see, I do love the Hanson Roberts Tarot. So, very cute. Oh, I did want to point out, the only problem with the cards, they're in really good condition. They're pretty clean on this side, but this side they have, can you see this little bit of staining right there in those 2 spots? I don't know if you can see it, but that's it. It's a very sweet little deck. Let me know if you think I should keep it. Next in line for the obscure out-of-print decks, we have the Fairy Wicca Tarot. So Fairy spelled F-A-E-R-Y. And this is all I got. The deck is complete, but there is no box. This, like I said, this owner did not keep boxes, and this one didn't keep the little, I think it's a little book about this thick that's supposed to be with it. It came in a unique kind of tuck box where it lifted up from the side because of the tuck box, or the book was about that thick. There was also a couple of companion books that I believe came with this, volume 1 and 2. It has kind of its own system, but it can be used as a traditional tarot as well. I love the images in here, but I don't, now that I've researched it, I don't have the materials to use it with its, you know, the way it's meant to be used. And just these cards, it was $30. It is an out-of-print deck, and I believe this is from the 90s as well. From my research, it also has these wonderful Irish names and words, which, you know, I don't know. I believe this is, you know, a Celtic Irish fairy deck. So we'll just flip through the cards, and these are the backs. I think this may have been a Llewellyn deck once upon a time. I can't remember, but it's got more a nice paper cardstock. It's really nice cardstock, old, vintagey, you know, what they used to make their cards with. Look how beautiful these majors are. My husband's saying, oh, you should just keep it if you enjoy the images, but it bugs me that there's no book, that I can't use it. So I'm just going to do a really, see the guide for 5, the beloved for 6. It's kind of dark here. Yeah, it's kind of, you could use it as a tarot, but I really want, some guidance. And some of you who are into Wicca or in Celtic lore would be able to work with something like this, even without the book, I would guess. And if you know these wonderful words and terms, I won't even attempt to pronounce any of them. I love this. The Banshee Crone. That is just stunning. If you have this deck, or if you did it one time, let me know. Am I correct in the packaging I described in the little thick book? Okay, that looks like Jesus. Let me know if I'm right in my assessment, and the 2 extra books that I think were sold separately. I think on eBay I saw a complete sealed deck with just, you know, the tuck box, not the extra books, but the book and the original deck in the original tuck box sealed, going for, was it $300, I want to say? And then somebody has an incomplete deck of only 62 cards. They're trying to sell it for $45. So you see the minors are a little bit pippish, but kind of like the Pagan Otherworlds, you know, whereas they're illustrated pips that give you a little more than just, you know, the pips themselves. See? And we got a banner on the side for the courts. I love this 90s art. I really do. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. Should I just keep it to love the art, or, you know, it literally would sit. I don't know. Maybe I would use it just as a regular tarot deck, because there are some extra cards which I will show you guys. I'm just quickly flipping through because you can see, look at how beautiful these quartz are. Ooh. I really want to know if you had it, how did it read for you? Did you use it with the system intended? Yeah, I do like the pips, even though it is a pippish, the minors are pippish, they do give you a little bit something else. Yeah, I quite like the Suit of Cups. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful. Yeah, the cards themselves are in quite good condition. Now we're going into the Pentacles. There's something very intriguing about this deck, and I want the book, even the little book. Oh my gosh. I feel really drawn to this deck, but the fact that it's not complete or even partially complete, like, see, I would want those extra books. I don't know, you guys. Okay, and here are the extra cards. So we've got the Tree of Life. I think this one is supposed to go in the beginning. And then you've got these, which I don't know how to use. See? The Apple Branch, the Holy Stone, the Crane Bag, and the Hazel Wand. Let me know what you think. This is the Fairy Wicca Tarot. I'm really drawn to it, you guys. I think it's fantastic. Oh, these 90s decks. See, I don't have any vintage decks. Should it stay or should it go? Okay, next we have the Merlin Tarot. I believe this must have been a second edition of this deck. The original coming in a different box, but this iteration that came in kind of a slide-in box came with these two books and the cards. This is just a blank journal that came with the set. I think this came out in the early 2000s, but it hasn't been written in. Really cool. And the book. So this is the Merlin Tarot by R.J. Stewart, illustrated by Miranda Gray. So let's see. I think this is the second iteration that came out with it. In 2003. Also, it's by Element, a trademark of HarperCollins Publishers. And this has kind of its own, this is definitely a deck of its own system, like the Dreams of Gaia, the Witch's Wisdom, you know, the Osho Zen. It's like very much its own system. So the book is in fantastic condition. So you see, well, card one is going to be the moon. So they've like flipped the majors on its head, just like similar to the Witch's Wisdom. So you get the World, the Wheel, that deals with these extra cards. You know, the is it 8 Worlds of Merlin? You have to kind of know your Arthurian legend pretty well, or this will help you with it, I hope. You get consciousness, partner trumps, spheres, and planets. Attributes, God and Goddess forms, key phrases, Merlin texts, divinatory meanings. So you do get divinatory meanings and related numbered cards. Wow. So you don't get as much really for the pips. No, you don't get a picture of the pips, and I'll show you why. Oh, the court cards and the people. You don't get pictures of them either. Shuffling, clearing, and then there's some spreads. Or a spread. So this is very much its own system. So something you would have to learn. Let's look at the cards really quick. So I did try to put these in order. Cards are in really, really good condition. Really nice card stock. It's like US Games card stock. Very much so. Kind of like the Morgan Greer, the Aquarian Tarot. Really nice. And they are a little bit bigger than traditional tarot size. So see, you get the moon is card number 1. Let's go in a little bit. And see and they've got the sun as number 2. So this very much goes its own way, even though that they have the traditional names of the cards, it's all been turned on its head. And I would like, so Justice is 5, Judgment is 6. And I really love the imagery of this deck, but when we get to it, I think this may be a no-go for me. And I will show you why. I just love the illustrations. I really, really do. These cards are in fantastic shape. It's like they hadn't been used. As you can see from the book, it's like in perfect condition. It was never used. And maybe the fact that it was its own thing, you know, somebody, you know, got too busy to learn the system. There was never enough time. Aren't these beautiful? Yeah, aren't these beautiful? All right, so we're getting through. So you get the ace, but then when you get into the minors, this is what you get. Pips. And I found, okay, so this is the ace of, is it beasts? I think, yeah, they've renamed everything, but you get the 2, and then you can count 3. And then you have to count the 4. And now you have to count 1. Okay, there's 2, 3, 4, 5 heads there. So once you get up there, it's kind of a trick of the eye. You have to find the heads and count them. And that just kind of turns me off a little bit. See? The majors are beautiful. And the courts are beautiful. But they don't really tell you what it is. So this is the equivalent of a page, and this is a knight. So this would be the queen, but it doesn't tell you. And there's the king. Okay, and so we have the suit of birds. So I assume it'd be the equivalent of air. And those are the birds. So we're just going to kind of skip on through these and look at the courts. Yeah, they're not even nice pips. Very, very plain, and I think it's such a shame. Because I really do like the imagery. So water is actually fishes. So see, you see the fishes. And we're just going to skip on by. Skip on by. I guess this would be the equivalent of the page, the knight, the queen. I love that queen. the King. And then we're going to the equivalent of, I guess this is Beast. The other ones might have been, the first suit was Serpent. So this would be Beast. So like Pentacles. And the Serpent would be Fire. But you see, I've got these minors all out of order, but just kind of a pain and just kind of uninspired when the rest of the deck is so beautiful. So we're going to skip on, and they do have keywords here. We're going to skip on to Quartz. Nice Knight. Queens are beautiful. Oh, I love it. Love it. And then these cards are supposed to, you know, this is part of the system. The creation vision. And so these are the different worlds. So yeah, this deck is complete. It's just missing the box, really. So yeah, I really love the illustrations on it. It is clean. It's like it hasn't been used. There's like no bow in it. And it does it's like it's not even creased. The book is not even creased. The journal is blanked. And if it weren't for the pips, I would say, oh my gosh, I totally would want this. Let me know what you think. Do you have this deck? Did you ever have it? What was the system like? I have no idea. I may have to do some more research on YouTube. Maybe I've seen like an unboxing just so I could make sure the set was complete, but it didn't really go into how to use the system. I haven't been able to find that yet. All right, so that is the Merlin Tarot by R.J. Stewart. Last but not least, we have a vintage Aquarian Tarot. So I have, you know, the current edition of the Aquarian Tarot in the tuck box that's sold by US Games right now. I have that. I love that tarot so much. This one, it's upside down. It is complete. And I think this is what you get with the current edition. Now, this has a copyright date of 1970, but I know this isn't a 1970 edition because of these backs. Now, they started using these backs, I think, in the mid-80s and maybe through the 90s. I don't know. But I know that the first edition had kind of a peach plain back with a lemniscate on it. And then from the mid-70s until they went here, it was like just a plain cobalt blue backing. So they started this backing in the mid-80s. Now this is different size. It's a little bit wider than the edition now. I wish I had had that edition with me, but yeah, it's a little bit wider, which I like, and I love these backs. It's, you know, it doesn't have the border that the deck has now. So I really dig that. You know what? I'm going to go and run and get my current edition. Okay, I am back. Let me zoom up a little bit. So I ran and got my current edition that you can get now that comes in this tuck box. And you can see how the backs differ. And you can see the difference in size. They're about the same height. I would say this is just a fraction, 1/16 of an inch taller, and it's a little bit wider in the older edition. I'm going to try to find the Fool card. Let's find the Fool. And it'll probably be at the end of the deck. Okay. So this is the older Fool, the one I just picked up, and this is the current edition of the Aquarian Tarot. A little bit, this has, well, because it's wider and it's a little bit taller, so the border appears to be bigger. I think there's a little bit more color saturation in this one, in the newer version. Similar cardstock. Very similar cardstock. I like the size of this one though. Let's see what you get for the little white book. So this is, yeah, just to pull out. So this is what they started having, this page, in the 80s, 90s, and I don't know. Let's see, it's the same thing pretty much. It's a little pullout for the current edition, yeah. So I don't know exactly how old this is because it doesn't have a box. But I know it's in really good shape, you guys. So maybe it's just from the 90s. I don't know. If you are an expert, I would really like to hear. This deck was $30. It's in really, really good condition, you guys. And I didn't think I would want to collect any vintage decks, but now that I've seen these, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to keep all of them. Do you think I should keep this edition of the Morgan Greer, or I'm sorry, the Aquarian? I really like it. I like the size. I like that the card backs are borderless. But yeah, if you are an expert in collecting vintage decks, when do you think this deck is from? The cardstock does feel very similar to the current edition. So that completes my walkthrough of all these wonderful, wonderful obscure decks that I found at my local half-price books. Let me know which ones you think I should keep. I'm not going to keep all of them. I can't. The Goddess Oracle was the most expensive at $50. I know I'm going to be taking that back. I'm just not feeling drawn to it. The other ones are very, very tempting, except for this Merlin one. I would totally be on it except for those pips. So I'm thinking, as much as I hate to, that one may be going back. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And if you enjoyed this walkthrough, please hit a like, a subscribe, comment below. It helps this very small channel. And with that, I will leave you for now. Until next time.